Today started out as any other day. I woke up right next to my best friend, my beautiful wife, in our beautiful home, and it was Saturday. For the first time in a while since changing jobs, I'm now am able to sleep in. I apologize for the stuttering. But today, the day got better. The day got absolutely more beautiful, especially with the recent announcement that Darren Waller has signed a contract extension with the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, we are going to go into all of the details in just a moment here, but I do really want to make sure that I emphasize the fact that, this has been in the talks for a little while now, and I've seen both sides of the argument. You don't want to overpay a player, but you also don't want to do too much in terms of do too little. You don't want to know too much, not too little. Like, there's a sweet spot you got to find, and I think that the Raiders definitely found it with this new contract extension for Darren Waller. So we'll start off with the basics here as I get the rest of my life figured out. So it starts with boom, Ian Rappaport, saying that the Raiders and star tight end Darren Waller are closing in on a contract extension that, blah, 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 that would preferably compensate him right before the season. Sources say Waller had 2 years left on his deal, but wanted an adjustment more in line with his play. Absolutely agree with that. And then, boom, very next thing. Raiders star tight end Darren Waller's new deal. Oh, by the way, Tom Parasella and Ian Rappaport reporting here. Raiders star tight end Darren Waller's new deal has a base value of $25 million over the next 2 years, including a whopping $2.55 million in active roster bonuses. He got $19.25 million fully guaranteed at signing. The rest of the deal is non-guaranteed, $12 million in 2024, $13 million in 2025, and $15 million in 2026. Now, we'll dive into the numbers in just a second here. Number one, the biggest thing I take away from this is you sign him right before this season starts. That is huge for your team. Darren Waller's a leader, he's a playmaker, and he's somebody that people get behind, but that those players and the coaches, for that matter, in that organization get behind. So the fact that they re-signed him to a contract extension right before the first game of the season versus the Los Angeles Chargers, not an accident. In fact, I would argue that this was probably the plan the whole time, because we've seen teams that do this throughout the years. They sign, big guys, big leaders, big name players right before the season starts. It lets those other players know that the team usually will take care of them if they play up to that level, and it lets the team know that they've got that leader around for a little bit longer. So we'll jump back into the numbers here. So yes, it's a 3-year extension. So I believe he's going to be with the Raiders through 2026. And the rest of the deal, when it talks about that, for the next 3 seasons, that $12, $13, and $15 million not being fully guaranteed, I love it. Here's why. Because Darren Waller can go out, he can get restructured, he can help the team out in the future if they want to bring somebody else in, and then also at the same time he can get some cash that he straight up deserves. We want to talk about a guy that has absolutely dominated ever since he has been with the Raiders. I know it took him a little bit to get going, but let's be real here. Darren Waller has been an absolute asset at tight end for the Raiders. As I try to bring up the rest of the stats here. I do think it's important to note that at the end of the day, when you sign a player like this, it's more than just about the money. It's more than just about, his production. Again, it is about finding players that come in and are going to be great leaders for your team. So, and I think obviously he's a guy that does more than that. So again, I apologize as I bring up the numbers here. I know this isn't live, but it's one of those things where I want to get it right as much as possible. So, there we go. And hold on, why is that not working? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm still figuring out this computer. Give me a break. Here we go. Okay, so the Raiders and Darren Waller have had a clear history. So you'll see, yes, it took him a little bit to get going here. Overall, you'll see in 2019, I think he actually broke out against my Vikings. It was great to see him, my 2 teams going at it, and to see my Raiders tight end. I believe I got him into fantasy this year on 2 of my 3 teams, I believe. But you'll see this guy just blew up, and he was against my Vikings, so I gotta love it. So 90 catches, over 1,100 yards that year in 2019. Also the year after that, over 100 catches, had almost double-digit touchdowns as well. This last year was dealing with injuries, but overall he's been a huge staple to this offense. And I get it, people might say, he's overpaid, but at the end of the day, this guy is one of the best tight ends in football. And it's finally about time that he gets paid like it. So you see the rest of the weapons along with him. Yes, it all comes together, baby. You love it. You got a lot of these guys together for a while now. You traded for and signed a guy like Devontae Adams. Hunter Renfrow got his extension, and now you got Darren Waller taken care of. You got Derek Carr as well taken care of. Things are looking up. Now the running back position position. I get overall it's one of those things where you're just happy that Darren Waller is going to be a part of the plans, like I said. So, I think you've got all of your major pieces for the next couple of seasons. It's about building that offensive line. It's about building the rest of this team, because here we go, baby. Darren Waller deserved every penny of that extension. Again, I realize that a lot of people are going to come out and say, oh, that's a lot of money for a tight end. Let's look at something, though. Darren Waller is currently 29 years old. He turns 30 in just a couple of days. Actually, I think it's September 13th. Happy early birthday to Darren Waller out there. So he's going to be 30. But look at those first 3 seasons with the Raiders, like we just showed you here. We'll bring it up again for emphasis. This guy played 3 years, barely caught any passes, really did not get the time of day. These last 3 years were really the time when he got those targets and those catches for the Raiders. So we're talking about 3 seasons in which this guy barely touched the football. It's not shots, it's just facts that I believe he will fully be able to play throughout into the future, and I think he's going to be a big reason as to why the Raiders offense continues just to take huge steps forward this year, and he deserved every single penny of this extension. But let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and we continue to get. You guys are all truthfully awesome. We love every single one of you. Down in the description below, you'll find all of our social media platforms. Give us a like and a follow, as well as a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com. or put in the comment section down below, and we would love to cover it. But let us know what you guys think about Darren Waller deserving every single penny of his new extension.